As this is the last episode of Daredevil. If you hear a little bit of a lawnmower in the back, that's because the lawn's being mowed.
That's it, folks. Show's over. Go home.
But yeah, it all leads up to this big climax. Fisk is finally put away, and Daredevil finally gets his outfit on, and they have this great big fight, and Fisk is stuck looking at his wall again, which was a nice touch. Yeah, I mean, I
love that. Is here like, what, Vanessa breaks him out? I'm like, no, better.
Is it sad to say I was almost waiting for that shadowy guy from the Amazing Spider-Man movies to pop in? It's like, you know, so there's been a complication, is there? Yeah, we're never gonna find out who you are. But no, probably the biggest disappointment outside of never finding out who that guy is in Amazing Spider-Man, though. Really, the Affleck outfit looked better.
It's tradition. The suit has to suck.
You know, yeah, there's so little you can do with it. It is a tough one to make good. It clearly just belongs in a comic. But
I wanted to believe.
No, but you know, they have done so
hard to believe, but
Marvel has done so well at taking these terrible, like, obviously couldn't exist in reality costumes and make them look cool. Thor looks cool, Captain America got cool, you know, they actually started to make them cool, and Daredevil, man, they just couldn't pull it off, man. Hopefully they can fix that. I can see why they saved it for the last episode, because it's like, we can't have this running around the whole time.
Yeah, in both, so in some ways I'm grateful they saved it to the last episode, because now maybe they can fix it. You're doing a whole other season, you have a break in between.
Have time.
Fix it! Oh my god, but on the other hand, I was just like, wow, I waited a whole season to get to that costume.
Yeah, well, you see it on some of the advertisements, like they'll put the costume on there, and even then, very few though, because they're like, no, we just go with the black mask, you know that.
And I thought the Affleck one looked kind of silly, so I
mean, it's about as good as you can do with that outfit. I don't know what else you can do, but yeah, it's just. Why would he put the horns on top? Why would the guy design it? It's like, and little horns, and little, you know, it's...
I was waiting for Potter to be like, your symbol sucks.
or you know, in the opening with the red blood or goo, whatever, falling and everything, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
there's gotta be some in between.
That design in the intro, at least from the backside, that's all we get to see, looked not too bad. So
yeah, I'm not gonna act like I have the answer to how to make that costume. I don't think
anybody does, because if anybody had the answer, we'd have a really cool Daredevil costume, and we still haven't gotten one.
No, the closest is the movie, which I actually don't hate. I think that one almost works. But yeah, it is just a little... It may be
something that just you can't... It might be something that you just can't translate. It
no, if they could make Captain America work, they can make Daredevil. If they can make Thor work, they can make Daredevil work. I just don't know how. I don't know how to do it.
I think that's the problem, though. Nobody does.
Somebody's got to. You, person watching right now, costume designer, I don't know, you're watching. Go, fix it, apply to Netflix, and make your dreams come true. Now watch, like, some person, like, we're gonna find out next year, it's just like, oh my god, I followed my dreams, I applied, and they said that I was too aggressive and will never work in this town again, so thanks a lot, asshole.
That was quite a tangent you went on there.
Yeah, sorry. But anywho, a good final episode. I really liked the FBI coming in, I liked him trying to escape. The coolest stuff is when the FBI turns around and starts shooting each other, and he just gets out of that car with the coat floating in the wind.
Well, the whole Good Samaritan thing, just, all this time I thought I was the Samaritan, but I am not him, nor the religious man, nor the priest. I am the ill intent.
So no, that was all cool.
I like that he's come to grips with it. He's like, nope, I'm the ill intent. That's you know, and if he gets to be the Good Samaritan, because they kept cutting to Murdoch, it's like, if he gets to be the Good Samaritan, then I'm the ill intent. I have purpose.
I'd be lying if I said... Like, the last fight was good, don't get me wrong, and it's like, I'm glad they didn't push out and just be like, next time, or a half-ass fight, kind of like in the movie, but at the same time, it's like, with all the action sequences we had before, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't kind of waiting for something a little different or to be upped a bit. It's basically a fight. It's not bad, but it's not
my issue is
great.
It could have been better choreographed.
I didn't think it was shot exceptionally well or choreographed exceptionally well, considering what we've had so far.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, if this were any other show, I'd probably be like, all right, that was pretty
really
awesome.
good,
but this show set the bar so freaking high that, yeah, it didn't feel like a letdown, because it still felt very violent. But I will say this, what I did really like about it is the set design on it. The fact that it happens in a back alley somehow feels so right.
Yeah.
To me, particularly because what they did this thing where it's lit up with the same yellow and orange lights, offset against blue, and then they have these. It's like plastic bags or something that ran up against the chain link, chain link fence or something, and it was a nice effect. It literally looked like fire, and like instantly I'm like, I get it. I know what they're doing, and it was fun because Fisk for so long has been in this ivory tower, and he only steps out when he needs to work amongst, you know, his little minions or whatever, like Satan walking amongst his little demons. But for the most part, he's always in this white tower. He's always in this sort of sterile environment, and everything's kind of like clean around him. And I like that he's almost gotten away, and like Murdoch has literally visually dragged him back into hell. And it's like this fight in this back alley with, like, you know, fire kind of around them. And so I thought it was a nice touch doing that.
You know, although here's the funny thing, you know what would have been the better setup, because I got a little excited when I saw it, and then they didn't do too much with it, but they weren't really supposed to, when he approaches Gal. When he approaches her, and there's this fire in the background, they just look at each other for a second, and then she's just like, piss off, and, you know, he's down, which is a cool moment, but I'm thinking, like, now replace her with Fisk. That'd be pretty awesome, seeing the real fire behind him and stuff while just everything's going to shit, but that's really nitpicky. That's beggars can't be choosers, you know?
Definitely, I think some...
Or beggars can't be choosers, however it works.
some homages to Nolan going on.
Yeah,
like
that
escape, I'm like, that escape, I'm just like, that seems directly out of Dark Knight.
Well, even with the truck flipping over.
Yeah.
Even when we got out of the truck, I just went,
hit at me!
No, my favorite is when the truck flips over near the end, Doug just goes,
I'm upside down. Somebody put me right side up.
You know what, you could say anything in his voice, it would just be hilarious.
Yeah.
I am a little teapot, short and stout. We're the Pound Puppies, and we want to come home with you.
So we're just gonna be doing it. It's gonna be like after we saw The Room. We're just gonna be doing.
Actually, they need to do. You know, they have the Honest Trailers voice guy to like say things in this voice. We need to do a say things in Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, Wilson Fisk.
I'm a pretty princess with my pretty princess hair. Though little there is. Fussy wussy have no hair.
Okay, anyway. But, okay, the one thing I was saying at the beginning of this, and I really felt it at the end, why don't they just tell Karen? Like, this is actually causing more trouble than it is preventing.
You know, Doug,
you
just don't get comic books, do you?
Maybe. I mean, if Foggy knows by now, well, why the fuck not Karen? I mean, there's some point where she comes in and she's just
for a second season.
I know, but it's like there's a scene where she comes in and she's like, they're trying to figure something out. She's so determined, and he's just there trying to, well, I don't know anything because I'm a lawyer. And I'm thinking, like, there's so much shit you could tell her. There's so much shit you could work off of each other as Daredevil, you know, to go and do this other stuff. Even like how he communicated with Foggy and stuff. Like, look, you need to trust me. There's just something I need to do. This is a time where I need to go as Daredevil and stuff. And it's like, why not do that scene with her? Because she's clearly, you know, in it all the way. She's clearly gonna push herself as far as she can go. She's already been in tons of danger, you know, and half the time has got out of it herself. I mean, so it's like...
Okay, we're good. We get it.
It just... Damn it.
The comic book guy in me gets it. The person that wants a strong narrative and a fulfilling story couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
I like, particularly, like, I get saving it, but I'm like, this episode, that needed to happen. It
yeah, if there was ever an episode. Like, early on, I get it. I get not telling them, even Foggy.
It bothers me because he can see how destroyed she's getting and flipping out over everything. I think that would have helped her. I think had she known,
yeah.
I'm the guy, I am the guy in the mask. I am here. We can do this together. We're all working together. I think that would have put her mind way more at ease rather than, well, I guess somehow we're going to have to find a way to work it out.
You know, there's a scene where they're talking...
Not telling her just...
There's a scene where they're all talking.
It's almost douchey. Really.
Yeah, they're all talking. They're figuring out plans and stuff. And it's like, you know, maybe your guy in the mask will find him. It's like, or no, we heard it from, you know, your friend in the mask. Really? You saw him? What's he like? Oh, well, he dropped by, and you know, like you're lying to your kid about Santa Claus.
Trying to,
yeah, and they're talking, and that, really, that was the perfect moment. I just want him to go like Iron Man. Just like go, you know, it's me. You know, wouldn't have been a great moment for
I'm
him?
Iron Man.
Just yeah, wouldn't have been a great moment if he just confessed right there.
I'm Daredevil.
I'm Daredevil. You know, because it's not like...
get me a coffee.
I don't know, it's that thing where you kind of know now it's not going to hold up anymore, especially after, I mean, really, you know, we always talk about Dark Knight and Batman Begins, these movies that defined a lot and broke a lot of new ground with comic books. In my opinion, honestly, the end of Iron Man, just where he says, I'm Iron Man. I mean, it's like, that's a huge, holy shit, I remember when we all saw that ending, like, wait a minute, where the hell does it go from here? It was such a, you know, total opposite of what every superhero does.
And then we got Iron Man 3.
Well, 2, technically. First 2, then.
Oh, 2, that's right. Oh, yeah, he did that in 1.
Yeah, he did that in 1.
There are way too many comic book movies. I was trying to go through the list of... Iron Man 2 and 3 are so forgettable.
No, but...
even more than 3.
No, but that's the thing. Like, at the very end of that, it's suddenly like, hey, this cliche doesn't really work anymore. Like, we get it, we got what you did for a while, we know why you usually have to keep it a secret, but it's like...
It only works...
Now, as a story device, it doesn't really work anymore.
It has to make sense, though. That's the thing. It could work if it makes sense. Peter Parker not telling Aunt May makes sense. How is that going to help Aunt May's life, Eddie? It ain't. Like, so in those movies, it makes sense. Here it makes no sense because it would have helped Karen out. It would have solved a lot of problems. It would have fixed a lot of things. So if
they could have cut like so many corners.
If it doesn't make sense, then don't do it. You can, but in the comics, fuck the comics. Like, sometimes you have to do just what works perfectly within the context of the story.
You know, sometimes on Tumblr you see those little quotes, and you know, who says it's, I want just fuck the comics, Rob Walker. And like, no, some people would be like, you know, oh, he doesn't understand, but yeah, I know there's a lot of people be like, right on, goddamn.
No, I'm sorry.
Just do what works.
Does it work in the context of the story? You want to know why Spider-Man 3 sucked? It didn't work in the context of the story. It has nothing to do with the fact that they changed things from the comics. If you, again, I always say this, if you make a change from the comics that is at least lateral and at best better than the comics, I'm completely okay with it.
Or at least works in the environment.
Yeah, the Spider-Man 3 sucked because they changed things from the comics, and it didn't even work in the context of the story they were trying to tell in Spider-Man 1 and 2. It was fucking stupid. Now, if you want to have him tell Karen in this story that he's Daredevil, right at this point in the story, it makes total fucking sense, and I don't care if it's different from the comics. Like, I just don't. It would have actually made this story better. If it makes the story better, then do it.
I'm almost wondering, because they shoot different versions of everything and stuff, but you never know with time. I'm almost wondering if they shot a version where he does tell her. Because you gotta wonder.
My guess is there may be a version out there where he does. And my other thing is, they've already changed so many other things from the comics.
Yeah, why
Yurik's
not?
dead in this one. Sense. You know, he's... he wasn't black, was he? In the comics, I think he's a white guy, Yurik.
No, I thought the comics he was black.
Is he? I'm gonna look them up again.
I thought, I could be wrong, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure, I thought he was black.
Point being, they changed things in the comics. Potter was a bad guy originally. Like, so they changed things already, and Fisk, definitely, his backstory is different.
So why not this? But
yeah, so why not that? My guess is it doesn't have anything to do with the comics because they change other things. My guess is they're just like, well, we gotta save something for
for the people come back to the season two.
Because they're obviously developing this romantic interest between the two. So,
which I want him to get with. Sorry, Dawson. Yeah, she's cool. I mean, Karen's cool. Don't get me wrong.
Kind of. Nearly night nurse.
Yeah. I don't know. She just seemed like... Yeah, you know what? And maybe it'll be like Peter Parker and Shadowcat and Mary Jane. It's like there's someone for Daredevil and there's something for Murdoch, you know, or something like that. Which will he choose? But I don't know. Could be wrong. But I guess she already kind of shot him down, didn't she?
Well, she took off so far, so...
Yeah.
She kind of said, well, I'll be there to patch you up, but, yeah.
Yeah, that was her.
I have issues.
Yeah.
I have issues with Catholic guilt-ridden boys who like to beat the shit out of other people to save their city. Like, she didn't have a martyr complex like he did. So
Yeah.
By the way, that was one of the best lines in this episode. Actually, in the whole show altogether, just how you taking it? Like a good Catholic boy. That bad, huh? The other great.
I love that priest. That priest.
The other great line along those lines was, oh, what the hell was it? When Foggy's always like, you are either going to have to kill this guy, or no, either this guy is going to kill you, or you're going to have to kill him. And if you kill him as a Catholic, that's going to kill you anyway. Catholic guilt.
You know what I realized with that priest? Because I'm thinking, like, we've seen this kind of priest character a million times. The supportive, kind of edgy, kind of breaks the rules a little bit, but's got a good heart and stuff like that.
Actually, I like him because he's not that edgy.
No. What I like is
he's
that
not a hip priest. He just kind of tells it like it is.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There are so many characters like that, and he... No, but that's usually what hip priests do. They tell it like it is and stuff, but he doesn't feel that way. He feels like a real person, even though he's kind of playing the archetype that
he feels like an old cynic. He doesn't seem constructed out of the kind of cliche grab bag.
He feels like a real person.
Yeah. We need the young hip priests. Like, okay, you know what I'm thinking of? He wasn't a priest, but Spider-Man 2.
The
Parker's doctor. And I'm like,
with the tie-dye shirt and stuff.
I'm like, where the fuck did this hipster doctor come from? I'm like, this is like something only in Hollywood.
All the people in that movie, it's like nobody in that movie existed in reality. Which I know, comic book movie goofy, I get it. It works in its own right.
But that's like one of those like cliches.
Nobody in that was
I'm the authority figure who's also hip. And that's the thing, I don't get the idea that the priest is hip. I get that he's an old, cynical person, but he's also just honest with himself and others.
Yeah. So, he's in a bad neighborhood. He has to kind of do what he can to keep his spirits high, but be realistic, you know? I thought it was a decent wrap-up, decent climax. It was nice seeing Fisk's come up. It's nice. I really like when he says, she's like, no, we can do it. No, there is no avoiding this. This is going to happen.
This
we can do
is happening.
Yeah, no, I
cannot
like that.
Stop it.
No, I love that rationale. That way, it's like, no, I got it. We can still work out this, but this is not being avoided. I have to take this punch. And it's going to be really bad.
Which again,
but,
the whole boxer metaphor.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I like that rationale. Especially because he's had so many emotional moments.
Speaking of box metaphor, when he falls to the ground, that reminded me of earlier scenes with the boxing matches. It's like a KO. He cares more. She is the only thing that I think he cares more about than himself. Like, he had his vision.
He cared about Wesley.
Well, okay, he cared about Wesley, but I mean, now all that's left is basically her, and he's pretty much saying, he's like, you're not coming to jail with me.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't if he involves her and is like, we flee together, I think he knew, well, then she's an accessory.
Yeah.
So it's like, I have to get arrested, whatever I do, I do alone. Like, we can run away together after the fact, but...
no, the one thing that...
you and yourself.
I know, I'm so bad. When I turn it off, I always forget to turn it on. Then I miss like a million calls. So that's why I do that for anyone wondering. I know it's annoying. It's just my bad memory. But when I don't know what was I gonna say? Again, my bad memory. I remember. Okay, when they. So it's showing the three of them. They're back together. Kind of a few corny lines. Can we move past this? No, but maybe we can move forward. Lame. The scene where she's like, this is how it should be, back together. It's lame. But with that said,
this show is so dark. I think we could do a little lameness here.
No, you know what?
Just like a wink, like, see? We could have fun. We laugh there.
No, but that's why I like seeing them talk and work off each other, and without having to state the obvious.
I honestly was with her.
State that.
I was with her. I actually missed him and Foggy.
I was actually kind of shocked how much I missed it too. When I saw them back together, I was kind of like, I did miss this a little bit. This didn't work well.
There's room for Foggy.
But when it cuts back to Fisk in his car, I immediately thought, wow, so is it going to cut back to Gao or the Russians or the reporter? I said,
gone,
there's nobody
dead,
to cut back to.
Leland dead,
they're all gone.
Japanese guy dead. Well, I guess is why he is the kingpin.
Yeah, no, it was bad when I really thought about how many characters died in this. Like, they got rid of a lot of characters. I mean, none like super main, like the main 4 or 5, but it's like everyone else pretty much. They got rid of a lot of people. But yeah, the last thing I'll say, because I mean all these characters are really good, but the one that is like, I don't know, it's been a while since I've had a character, especially in a show, where every time it cut back to him, I was excited and intrigued, and that really was the
Foggy.
Kingpin. No, yeah, the Foggy, yeah. No, it really was Kingpin. Every single time we cut back to him, like, I got excited what we were going to discover, or what he was going to do, or what we were going to
I do feel
find
bad
out.
because it was a trifecta of characters. It was Kingpin, Gao, Wesley. If they were in a scene, as far as I was concerned, my eyes just lit up, and I was like, "Ooh, what's gonna happen?"
As long as Murdoch's bad,
there's nothing
they're
wrong
very
with
good.
Murdoch or Karen or Foggy.
No, just those 3 are incredible.
Leland or the Russians. The Russians are kind of boring, actually. But it was just whenever one of those 3 was on screen, I was just always fascinated.
It's kind of like
I could have watched those 3 all day.
Yeah, it's like Zuko or Azula or Iroh. It's like anytime those 3 are on, it's like you get excited in Avatar, and it's like the same thing here. And again, they're all the villains technically.
Iroh wasn't so much a villain, but I guess former villain. Yeah.
Yeah, but
kind of villain.
But yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like I really like when you see a character and you just their appearance. You're like, ooh. And this character, after episode 3, is in every episode, and he's in it a lot. So that's really impressive that every single time he pops up, I get excited to see him. Like, I'm really, really, anxious, like, what's going to happen next? I'm so excited. What's he going to say? What's he going to do? How is he going to say it?
I like
How's
the
he
fact
gonna
that
do
he's
it?
imperfect. I know some people are just like, oh, well, he's kind of weak, and he falls in love with this woman,
No, at first
and
I
he's
didn't
not
know, but I
perfect,
really-
and things
I
fall
really love
apart,
it.
and he speaks funny, and, like, I loved it.
He just owned it. I mean, he just owned it in that performance, and the writers and the directors, and I mean, they just...
And the
it
thing
is
is,
different, but they just made him so fascinating.
I'm sorry, he's still a scary motherfucker. When he strangles Yurik, I was like, holy shit, like, the way it looms under his face, he's like, "Arr!" Like, it...
I love it because,
you
like...
feel the rage.
Yeah, no, because, like, he brought up the threat element, he's just like, no, it's like, let me just get these words out because I admire you still, but I have to say these words before I kill you. No, you brought my mother into it, so I'm not going to thrill you, that is why I'm going to kill you. And it's like, okay, now I can kill you, and let's go, but you can see him like, I need to get these words out because that's the honorable thing, and I respect you as that, but you are going to die.
The scary thing is always somebody who is logical, has it together, but can snap.
Yeah.
Like, I find that way more scary, like somebody who's just like, oh, I'm just evil and I can do this. You always feel that somehow you could reason with somebody like that. Not always, but you always feel like maybe you can reason with them, but somebody that unhinged. Like, Leland thought he had it made. He's like, aha, I worked this out perfectly, so now you can't kill him. And he's like, he didn't bank on the fact that, no, he's fucking nuts. He'll kill him anyway. That, to me, is way scarier, because it's just like, there's no reasoning with this guy. There's no logic. Logic would have said, leave Leland alive because you don't want to take the risk of, getting...
Or give him another way or figure out another plan, but no, it doesn't make sense to kill him and then look for the guy after. And it didn't. It turned out it bit him in the ass. But the scene, I forget if it was this episode or I think it was prior, where Wesley, the other guy, the guy under Wesley was told to stay behind. He's like, you let him go alone. It's like, it was an order. He told us to stay behind, so he just gives him this look. And then, of course, headbutt. Yeah. Oh, that's my friend! And then, of course, sorry, give him an extra bonus or something. And of course, the guy still sticks around, too, which is great. But, like, I was just like,
well, the guy,
he's probably going to attack him even though he doesn't deserve it.
There was kind of like this weirdness to that scene, because I got this strange impression. I don't know if everybody else felt this way, but the guy kind of took it. And I always wondered if this guy is so loyal that he's like, no, he needs this. He needs the release.
Because he's still looking him in the eye, like, okay, yes, another one, this is good, this is therapeutic for you.
Yeah, he didn't resist.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, maybe he just was knocked unconscious instantly, but it still looked like he was awake. But yeah, I'm just like, man, if somebody was really wailing on me, like, I would think I would try to do, or defensive moves or something.
I saw that too. Like,
but yeah, so I am almost wondering if, like, these guys are so loyal that's like, no, it's okay. He needs to let him work through it.
Hopefully I'll come out too. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, any final thoughts here?
I just love this show beginning to end. I hope Marvel does more of this in the same way DC's got the Flash and Arrow going. Like, I hope thinking outside of their boxes helps. Because right now I am starting to hit that moment of, like, kind of comic book movie fatigue, and I'm feeling like, yeah, this is all
like they're good, but it's like they're starting to
we'll
kind of
see
blend
what
a little bit.
Batman versus Superman has in store. I actually was one of the few who didn't hate the trailer looking at it, so I'm willing to give it a fair shake, but yeah, I hope we see more like this, and my only concern is, like, now I know there's talk of, like, oh, they may do an Iron Fist show. Iron Fist. Iron Fist.
Iron the Fist show!
I would see that. Iron Fist show, and there's talks about, you know, Lady Gal being the Crane Mother. And there's talk about more shows and, like, bringing this into the larger Marvel comic universe, and I'm not gonna lie, what I like about this show is the fact that it's not really that connected to the rest of the MCU, and the fact that it has a distinct lack of supernatural things going on. We had that hint with the kid that was brought in, and I still don't know what that's supposed to be. If it's some reference, it's over my head, but that the Hand was bringing in. I'm kind of hoping that, I don't know, like, they could do it, and they did this, and this was awesome, and maybe they'll bring in all these other shows and make it part of the MCU, and all these supernatural elements, and this and that, and Iron Fist, and Serpent, and maybe it'll be good. I mean, maybe it'll be really awesome, and I'll be like, see, I had nothing to worry about. I kind of like this because it wasn't doing that, though.
Yeah, because it was different. It was trying something
I'm hopeful in future seasons it just doesn't become like every other Marvel property. Because right now this feels fresh, it feels different. And I'm hoping they kind of stay that route, and if I'm wrong, and I'll be very happy. I'll totally be like, I had nothing to worry about, and that was awesome, but if I'm right and they do that and it just kind of becomes like everything else, I don't know, it's not going to be as much fun to me. Like, this felt cool because it was so gritty and kind of felt removed sort of from the rest of that MCU universe. So. Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it, especially the villains, but the hero is so smart and so likable as well that I think that, I mean, all the characters are pretty likable.
You know, we talk about
it's varying levels of likable.
We talk about Fisk, but really Murdoch was amazing as well, and we forget that, I think, because he does it so well. You know, Fisk is the role where you can chew scenery. Murdoch, as a character, he doesn't have that same luxury, and I think we forget he does it so well we don't talk about it much, but I loved him throughout the whole series.
Yeah, no, he did very well, and it's shot great. It's like Sin City with even more color in the shadows, but still such a respect for that darkness as well. And it kept me interested in every single episode. Not being a huge comic book reader, but knowing enough, you know, about like Kingpin and Daredevil and stuff, I like most of the changes they've done, and I'm curious to see where they're gonna go, and yeah, it was just great fun. I love what Netflix is doing with these shows. I just love they can kind of do whatever they want. They know it, and they're opening up more and more, and this is why they're ruling TV.
I didn't have a problem with most of the changes. Killing Uriko off kind of bugged me. That one felt a little tropey to me, almost.
Killing the supportive black guy.
Yeah, it's like kill the black supporting actor, and
honestly, I'm surprised he lasted this long. just as like tropes go, like TV
I found
tropes.
it kind of off-putting too, because I'm pretty sure he's still alive in the comic universe. I'm like, so on the one hand, it surprised me. I didn't think they were going to do it, but on the other hand, it disappointed me because it's like, I didn't think they were going to do it because it seemed kind of dumb for a show normally this good. I'm hoping they develop Potter more, because they changed that from the comics, but I never felt I got to know Potter. I never felt like he's almost an Easter egg in the show so far, and maybe they'll do more with him. But yeah, everything else, like, as I said, it's been decades now, I think, at this point, since I've read Daredevil. So going off of memory, like, it seemed pretty close to what I remember, at least from the Miller years, and, you know, before that, when it was lighter, and I really enjoyed it, so.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining us. After this, we're going into Steven Universe. We've been getting a lot of people asking us to do this. We can probably get them out faster and easier, because, am I right, they're like
they're short. Yeah,
10, 15 minutes, something like that. We can do it like Adventure Time and just go through.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be another long haul, though.
Yeah, no, I hear there's a lot of episodes, but I mean, what I saw I was very intrigued by, and I'm really looking forward to it. And apparently, have a lot of other people too. It'll be curious to see if this is like a really, really big audience for it that wants to see these vlogs, or just a really vocal minority, because sometimes it's really hard to tell. But the episodes I saw were really fascinating, and I'm really looking forward to that. So,
so if you want a lot of Steven Universe, watch it and tell your friends.
Share, spread, all that stuff.
Yeah,
it'll definitely encourage us to do more. So, or at least put them out faster. So, yeah, that's about it, and we will see you next time. Later.